The boy arrived during the harvest, barefoot and clean. No one saw who brought him. He just stood there at the edge of the chapel courtyard at dawn, not crying, not speaking, just watching. His eyes were too old for his face, his clothes too pristine for the dust-choked village of Ashvale. Father Mallory took him in. What else could he do? The rains hadn't come in 6 years. Crops withered. Babies failed to breathe past their 3rd night. And the saint in the chapel, a wood-carved effigy with blackened eyes and a mouth sewn shut, hadn't bled in 2 decades. So they called it a sign. A miracle. The boy didn't speak, but he listened and he watched. He remembered. He ate what was offered, always at dawn, always alone. If any animal approached him, cat, dog, goat, it would whimper, freeze, and then bolt, eyes wide with some ancient fear. His name was never given, but the villagers called him Sallow. Sallow of the courtyard, Sallow of the watchful eyes, the hollow saint's return. They carved a smaller effigy in his image by the altar. The chapel filled again. Faith rekindled like dry brush just waiting to burn. But Father Mallory began having nightmares. At night, he saw Sallow walking through the cornfields, not running or playing, just walking slowly, with purpose, with silence, as though the land itself parted for him. Once Mallory followed, and only once. He saw the boy kneeling beside the old well, the dry one, sealed since the red water came up, and whispering into it. The words were not in any language Mallory knew. They felt wet and wrong, like something crawling into your ear and laying eggs in your thoughts. And then came the bleeding. No one was hurt. The bleeding came from the statue. The old effigy, dormant for decades, wept thin streams of blood from its eyes and mouth. The villagers rejoiced, screamed and danced and sang. They pressed their hands to the wood and licked it from their fingertips. Even the sick boy with the swollen belly was brought forward. Father Mallory watched it all with a mouth full of copper and a heart full of dread. Sallow stood beside the statue, smiling. Mallory's dreams worsened. He saw ash falling from the rafters, blanketing pews filled with empty-eyed villagers. He saw the boy, taller now, jaw unhinging too wide and too slow. A sound like branches breaking under the skin filled the chapel. Each time he woke from one of these nightmares, a tooth was missing from his mouth. One night, the well moaned, a sound low and ancient and wet, vibrating through the earth. The crops around it blackened overnight. Insects vanished. The chapel walls began to run with a clear liquid, like amniotic fluid. That morning, a villager was found kneeling before the boy's image, faceless, not torn or burned, just smooth like clay. No eyes, no mouth, skin pale as milk and dry as parchment. Still breathing, still kneeling. Mallory confronted the boy. His voice cracked, his hands trembled as he stood before the boy in his very own chapel and demanded answers, demanded the truth, demanded a name. Sallow tilted his head and smiled, and finally spoke.
This place forgot its fear. I came to remind it.
The light dimmed. The floor moaned beneath their feet. From the rafters above, the statue of the hollow saint turned its head to look at Mallory. Wood doesn't creak like that, unless its mouth is full of teeth. The villagers gathered as one, wordless. Their faces were all gone. Sallow walked between them, fingers brushing hands and what used to be cheeks, scars, a silent benediction. The sky split open with a sound like paper tearing, and the well breathed. What came from it wasn't some kind of beast or monster, no tentacles or smoke. It was hunger, pure and total, a gravity of will, an absence shaped like a mouth. The boy knelt before it, arms wide, and spoke the final words.
I kept your name. I wore your face. Now open your throat and drink.
Mallory fled. He ran until the village was only a smear in the horizon haze. He ran until his lungs tore and his tongue dried to leather. He never looked back. But every night since, he hears the chapel bell ring. Once, only once, and he knows deep down that Ashvale is still there, still kneeling and waiting for something.